Hey puffalope, I'm here to glaze. However long this video is, just know that I'm gonna be glazing for like 95% of it. I have some criticism that I wanna, talk about for Dracula, but 95% of it is positive, and this is such a refreshing chapter. I haven't felt this way about a chapter in so long. I think the last time I felt this positively about a character release was Wesker, and that was what, like 10 years ago? I don't even think I was born back then. I came out of the womb after Wesker got released. Dracula is awesome. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Playing as Dracula is insanely fun. Playing against Dracula, less fun, but still very fun. And I actually just have like one complaint about Dracula that we're gonna get into after I'm done glazing, because I feel like I'm known as this hypercritical. Well, I guess not anymore, because I haven't made discussion videos in a long time, but people know me for complaining about Dredge on release, and Xenomorph was the biggest hate chapter of my channel, so I feel like it's fair for me to like glaze the chapters that I like a little bit. I think the whole idea of shapeshifting is so refreshing in DBD. I saw a lot of people saying that his power feels similar to a bunch of different other powers in the game, and they just blended them all together in the same killer. Like the bat teleporting to the window looking, well, exactly like Dredge teleport. The fire power is very similar to Nemesis Whip, and the wolf power is just Wesker again, except you can't control when you're gonna do the second dash. But I think that's kind of the point. They kind of made the killer a weaker version of other killers, but made it so versatile that you can use this killer for almost anything that you want to do. You have some map traversal with the bat teleport, you have anti-loop with the guy and the wolf, you have cool flicks that you can do with the wolf, and you have the bread and butter 50-50 pallet power. There's just so much. It's like a better version of Vecna. It's a version of Vecna that doesn't feel like bullshit whenever he blocks the pallet and has the movement speed add-on, and you don't have the magic item. There's clear skill expression with the wolf power. There's some cool shots that you can do with the fire power as well, because it only hits over some things, but if you understand exactly which things it can hit over, you can do some pretty cool stuff. And yeah, the wind up on the fire power feels kind of bad, but the game kind of makes up for it by giving the power like 5 stacks of save the best for last and making it have like a 3-second cooldown, which I don't understand. I think that's a bug. I think the firepower could have a longer cooldown without hurting the killer too much, and I'm pretty sure the 5 stacks of save the best for last when you hit someone with the power is also a bug, because Xenomorph had that bug as well. I'm not sure that that's intended, because if it is, it's just kind of a camping mechanic, and I don't like that. But other than that, just amazing chapter. I'm really happy with it. The castle in the background, I mean, the visuals on this chapter, I saw a lot of people complaining about this as well, saying that that Dracula's hit animation is just Skull Merchant again, which is fair. I guess it doesn't look as good as the killer, but it looks really cool as Survivor. And I had the impression that the chapter was rushed when I first played it, but the more I played it, the more I realized that it's actually a pretty fleshed out chapter. And people gotta remember that it's the PTB, so a lot of things are gonna change, and I hope that they change the way the attack looks at the very least, because the attack looks kind of weird on the killer side, I'm not gonna lie. Now, the one complaint I have about Dracula, well, it's not really a complaint, it's more of a criticism. I want to understand why they went with not letting the bat see survivors. Like, I think it would have been cool if it was like a sound thing, because bats are blind. They see things, but not really. It's like the Daredevil, like they emit a sound, and then things in front of them like just kind of take shape, and they understand the things around them like that. I think they should have went with something like that. Maybe that's another bug. Maybe you're supposed to see something like that with the bat, but it doesn't work like that. You just don't see the survivors, which I don't think works very well, because the survivors can see everything that you're doing. They can see you teleporting to the window. They can hear you because you're like just emitting a bunch of sound when you're in bat form. I actually found myself barely ever using the bat power, unless it was like a 2-story map where I could teleport upstairs instead of going up the stairs in, say, Midwich, which already is like a pretty good power. Like, it's a pretty good mobility tool, and maybe I'm just not thinking of something that would make it overpowered if if you could see survivors in bat farm. I do feel like it would add to the cool factor of the killer to make the bat be able to like hear the survivors and like make the survivors take somewhat of a shape when you're close to them or something. I don't know. Another semi-criticism that I have, and this is just a nitpick, like this is not really a problem, but the fact that the second dash of the wolf gets cancelled if you hit a wall with the first dash just kind of removes skill expression in my opinion, because wesker rebounds are basically you throwing yourself at the wall, readjusting and hitting the survivor. There's a lot of loops in the game that you just can't use the wolf dash because there's not enough room to not hit a wall to then readjust. And I don't know why they chose to go with this. I guess it's for punishing players for missing, which I guess is fair. It's just that, like, I wish there was a way to like intentionally tell the game that you're want to hit a wall and then like readjust. I'm closing I just realized it's like 12 p.m. and I'm just yapping with my window open. My neighbors might have been hearing my criticism about Dracula here. Maybe they agree. I don't know. Now the window's closed. They're not going to hear the rest of what I have to say. I wish there was a way to like intentionally hit the wall and readjust, kind of like a rebound, like a re-pounce. Whatever, I don't know what the wolf dash name is. I feel like that would just make the killer cooler. But I just want to say this might be a nitpick, and maybe I'm just too killer brained these days. I'm no longer a survivor main. I'm a 50-50 player. You guys don't have the right to call me a killer main. I just think it would be cool. You know, I don't know how dodgeable the wolf attack is yet. I haven't played enough against Dracula. I've played quite a bit, and I have a survivor video coming up after this. I'm posting so much on this channel, but I don't know how like feasibly dodgeable the wolf power is, how fast it is. So if it was like a rebound mechanic, I don't know if you would be able to dodge it necessarily, but you could just pre-dodge and whatever. It'd just be wesker again. At the end of the day, I just feel like the game needs more of Dracula. Killers with clear skill expression from the killer side and clear counterplay from the survivor side. Not this blend of bullshit, uncounterable anti-loop that some killers have. That shit is boring, uninspiring. Very few people like playing as killers like Clown and Legion. Well, Clown not so much because Clown actually has skill expression, but Legion, for example, there's just so little to the killer that, yeah, you can get some results playing against bad players. You can't do anything against better players, and everybody has a miserable time. The killer has a miserable time. The survivors have a miserable time. It's just bad. Dracula, on the other hand, he's a cool fucking guy. Okay, he's not some teenager with a knife. He's like like an ancient being that sucks blood and stuff. I don't know. I haven't watched the movie. It's not. It's a series. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry for being a poser. I just like the chapter and the character and everything. I might watch Castlevania. Anyway, I'm rambling too much. But yeah, it's way harder to make long videos about chapters that I like than chapters that I dislike. Because I can sit here and trash talk the killers that I don't like for an hour, but I can't say too many good things about the killers that I like because it's just like, yeah, like they're cool, nice. I like them. I like Dracula. Good chapter behavior. Good job.